From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning with big news about your stocks, your bonds, your housing market crash of 2022, your stock market crash of 2022, and your fourth stimulus check update of 2022. In today's recording, we go over the incredible great news as a fourth stimulus check has landed by direct deposit in every U.S. state. In this incredible recording, we'll go over those four stimulus checks and how you get them, and you qualify. Single individual, $75,000 or less. Married couple with children, without children, on benefits, and more. Those incredible checks are in every U.S. state, and I found them for you. Ain't gonna find them anywhere else except on this channel. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. Step 3, stay with me over this incredible broadcast live on air from the shores of Santa Monica today, June 8, 2022. We'll go over those incredible checks in every U.S. state. We have a lot of other breaking news that impacts these checks as well, because the Build Back Better Act, a piece of legislation in the Senate, would give you additional checks on top of that. A lot of money. But we have a lot of breaking data that impacts it today. New data that came in about the mortgage industry, as the mortgage demand for the month of February dropped to its lowest levels in 22 years. Whoa, we have the latest details on that and how it impacts Build Back Better Act. Then we have new comments from Gina Raimondo, how the president is looking to do more executive actions. Wow, because these four stimulus checks in every U.S. state came by executive action. Next over, we turn to the stock market crash of 2022 and the corporate earnings reported overnight. Good news is some companies actually rallied up. We'll be looking back at the labor situation as viewers say big box retailers don't have checkers at the checkout. They're laying people off. We'll have the latest details on that. Plus, we'll be looking at the situation for student loan debt forgiveness and the latest details on your SS300. Step 1, subscribe. Over this incredible broadcast, we're going to get those big checks. Step 2, become a member. Get ready to get those four stimulus checks in every U.S. state. It's a big bold morning of Mornings LA because the toast is toasted. The butter is buttering, the coffee is brewing, and the bacon's missing. But the stimulus is not. It's in every U.S. state, and we're going to go get it in this big recording. From the shores of Santa Monica, good morning. Let's get to the deliciousness as Mornings LA heats up on the front burner this bold, beautiful morning, starting right now. And good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It's a gorgeous day here along the coast in Santa Monica, California. You know, the heat is coming on, and that heat is not just inflation. The latest details on where this economy's going and where it is today. It's a big day with a lot of money, and that money starts in every U.S. state. And I'm so excited you're here because we're going to get some money today. Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, become a member. And step 3, get that incredible newsletter coming out later tonight. And we're going to get those checks for you later in this recording, those four stimulus checks in every U.S. state. It's a big, bold, beautiful day because guess why? Everything is coming up robust. Build Back Better Act is underway for negotiations between Chuck Schumer and Joe Manchin. Those provisions of the Build Back Better Act would give you additional checks, on top of these four stimulus checks, which are already in every U.S. state. Build Back Better Act has $15,000 to $80,000 of checks in there, but we got incredible great news that updates Build Back Better last Friday. It came from Janet Yellen, your Treasury Secretary, when she released a report we have not seen since the 1980s. That incredible report said that Social Security and Medicare is not running out of money for 75 years. Well, this was big. Why? Because certain provisions in the Build Back Better Act, Joe Manchin was against because he said they're going to run out of money. Now that they aren't going to run out of money, then we may be in a better situation for this Build Back Better Act. In tonight's Evenings LA in Prime Time, we're going to go over all these incredible provisions one at a time, but I got to go over just broadly why this news from Janet Yellen is so great. It's great because a lot of the provisions that are wonderful were in jeopardy no less than a week ago because they do involve the expansion of Medicare. Now, if Janet Yellen's report is seen by Joe Manchin, then we don't have that concern anymore. $250 billion of free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. No longer a concern. Whilst, what about that third cluster? Dental, vision, hearing, no longer concern. Everything else in there was fine, like the MSC, $2,000 the first month, $1,000 after for up to 6 months, that's $7,000. The $25,000 for the purchase of your first home, the $15,000 to $80,000 across these incredible clusters, those were all fine in there. And that's why the situation looked really good as of that announcement from Janet Yellen last Friday. Now, when you look at this Build Back Better Act, what's important to understand is that there's a lot of money in there, and there's three issues that help get it done. The three issues are that Joe Manchin and Chuck Schumer say they want to get it done. Two, they want to get it done to get you the checks by the midterm elections. And number three, there's bad economic data today as well. Those midterm elections are very critical. Let's look at the time horizon. Well, you don't vote in November, you vote 3 months ahead of time. So you would vote by about September. Could they get you a check in September if they get the vote in September? Yes, it's very tight. I don't like it that tight. I'd rather have them vote in August. Remember, they had those half months in August? So I'd rather have them vote in August. They vote in August, then they have to get the bill ready and the negotiations solidified by July. You look how tight that became. The other part of Build Back Better Act that supports it, or the other element that supports Build Back Better Act, is the bad economic data. And boy, today we start with another whammo of bad economic data. The housing industry again. Let's take it back a step. Earlier this year, I told you the housing industry was really in a housing crash of 2022. It was a clear crash of 2022 as a series of events unfolded. First, the home builders started increasing the price of the homes because the products, the cost to build the home went higher, and the subcontractors started charging more money. So the builders started increasing the price of the home. Did the buyers leave? They did leave. They did not stay around to buy a more expensive home. Then we had the mortgage industry. The mortgage industry watched as those interest rates for mortgages, 30-year fixed, went up a lot, from 3% in February to 5% in April. Now, I told you that the data for housing was so bad that it's indicative of where this economy is going. But along the way, in the last few weeks, a few analysts have said it's just the housing industry is bad. The rest of the U.S. economy is great. Untrue. So here we go. Here is breaking news released just today, minutes ago. Mortgage demand for the month of May 2022 was the worst seen on the books in 22 years. Ouch. Ouch. Now, this is not a surprise. You could have figured this one out yourself. If the mortgage rates went from 3% in the month of February to 5% in the month of April, then people were not buying. Well, guess what happened? The average rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage surged in April from 5.3% to 5.44%. Oh my goodness, that is out of control. Yes, and so that's why the demand is the worst in 22 years. The demand for mortgage acquisitions was the worst in 2022, says this new in 22 years, says this new data released minutes ago. If you're a member of this channel, you get the information, the membership newsletter nightly, and you see how these numbers are surging out of control. Here's the reaction. Joe Codd, an MBA economist, minutes ago says, while the purchase market has suffered from previously low inventory and the jump of the mortgage rates over the last 2 months made affordability challenges harder for first-time home buyers. Translation? No one's buying. No one's going to buy if a home that was substantially cheaper in the month of February is more expensive now. And then when you try to buy the home on a mortgage, you can't because the mortgage rate went from 3% to nearly 6%. Yeah, if you watch this channel in the last few days, these mortgage rates have surged dramatically because we were talking about just 5% a few days ago, and now it's 5.4%. Why is that happening? Jay Powell. Jay Powell's raising those interest rates, and he's going to have an FOMC meeting in just a few days to do another half basis point, is what I'm predicting. And that is why when you look at the numbers for the Treasury yields today, they are very high. Now, there's a group of people that you remember from 2020 that are back on Capitol Hill today. The New Democrats. Oh, I forgot about them. Thankfully. The New Democrats. The problem solvers, the blue dogs, all those cast of characters from 2020. Well, the New Democrats are on Capitol Hill today talking about a version of the Build Back Better Act. Oh, good for them. What do they say? Nonsense. What are the New Democrats saying? Well, they're basically meeting with the White House and appearing on Capitol Hill for press events to say that the White House needs to immediately pass some legislation to combat inflation. And they believe the way they would do it is by removing some tariffs, solving immigration, and reducing drug and medication costs. Excuse me? No, that doesn't work. First of all, I'm going to jump right off the subject matter very quickly because first of all, what they said makes no sense. Second, it's very vague, and third, it's never going to pass. I mean, it's sort of ridiculous. But I wanted you to know that they were doing it. Now, what's interesting in the article coverage of them is rather not them, but Gina Raimondo. Gina Raimondo, of course, is one of your cabinet members, a wonderful person, and she said that she has actually met with the president to discuss doing some executive orders. There we go, those wonderful words, to alleviate the inflationary pressures. What is she recommending? She's recommending some sort of tax holidays where you don't have to pay taxes on certain instruments, and that would alleviate some of the inflationary pressures on you. Good, but it ain't stimulus. Good, but it ain't stimulus. The Build Back Better Act is good, but it ain't law yet. That is why you have to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. It's coming up later in this recording. You got to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state because it's there now. And because it ain't tax holidays like Raimondo's talking about or crazy nonsense stuff like the New Democrats is talking about. Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, become a member. Step 3, get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday. And Step 3, stay to the second half as we go over these incredible checks one at a time. And boy, they're incredible. The day started with some really good news, though, in the stock market. Stock market crash of 2022 is underway with the industry down 24% already. Bear market, there we are. We are absolutely in a bear market. But a bear market plus a recession will bring us down 48%. More news to pass the Build Back Better Act. What was the data that came out just minutes ago? Today for June 8th, 2022. Campbell Soup was a beat. Rallied up 3.7% after its earnings report. It was a major beat. 9 cents above estimates. We had Moderna up as a major beat. We had Roku up 8.1% in the pre-market trading. Major beat on its corporate earnings. And generally, a couple of really good beats today. Some misses, but Novavax up 60% in pre-market trading today. Wow. DocuSign up 5% as well. You know, the online document signing company. So some good news in there. But the takeaway is that the Build Back Better Act is supported by really bad economic data out there. And the most exemplary of the bad economic data out there, you know what it is if you're in the live chat, write it right now, is the employment situation. The employment situation is really bad. It is bad on its face from the economic data, and it's bad not on its face because of the eyes and ears of you, the American people. Let's go over what's going on. I've been reporting on this channel for over maybe 4 weeks that you, the viewer, and the eyes and ears of the American people are seeing major strains on the labor market, major downturn on the labor market, before Wall Street analysis has indicated is the same. What are some Wall Street analysts saying? Some of them are saying no one's being laid off, untrue. No one has a problem with their job, untrue. That the labor market's really strong, untrue. And that the only problem with the economy is the housing market, really untrue. What did the data show us in the last few days? First, the new jobless claims released last Thursday were 200,000. That's not a good number. Tomorrow, we're going to see the new jobless claims number. I predict it's going to be 200,000. It's just not a good number. But on Friday, we released the data that showed why the number was so high. Because most of the people laid off were working for small business owners who said they're not just laying them off, they're closing their doors. They're losing their business. That's not good. Now, we knew there was a problem back almost a month ago when Walmart reported corporate earnings and said, we have too much merchandise on the shelves. And that's not moving. And we have too many store merchants. We're going to have to do something about it. That's the language that says labor changes are coming. Last Saturday, the major hit. Tesla, Elon Musk announcing We have a concern about the downward spiral in this U.S. economy. We're laying off 10% of our employees. Ouch. And then we're doing a hiring freeze. Ouch. Immediately, I've been saying to viewers in this live chat over the last week, and we're doing right now as well on Mornings Live on Air, two questions about labor. I'm first going to ask you about whether you see less employees, and then I'm going to ask you whether you've seen people being fired. First, the first question has two possible answers: less or more. When you go into the big box retailer and you go to this checkout to pay for your item in the last few days, have you seen less or more employees when you go to checkout? Jump in the live chat right now and I'll feature some of your answers on air in the second half. Nearly 100% of viewers in the last week have said less. Some viewers have said zero. They've said it's gone from a few to zero. I mean, you have to use the electronic checkout. Now here comes the next question. When you communicate with friends and family and neighbors and extended loved ones and talk about their jobs, have you heard people get laid off in the last few weeks? Yes or no? And viewers have said yes. Viewers have said yes, people getting laid off. This is important because this is support for a Build Back Better Act. When there's labor change of the market, when there's massive change in the labor market, going from too many people have jobs and there's a shortage of people to work to now people are seeing massive layoffs, then that's a major change across the board, especially when Wall Street's saying no one's getting laid off. I don't buy it. And that is why it's important to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over those incredible forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, become a member. And in the second half of this video, we're going to go over something new about this check you never heard before. Actually, two major stories. They're huge, and they're coming up in the second half of this video. Meantime, I want to go over briefly the situation for oil and gas and also student loan debt forgiveness because it's a very big issue. Two afternoons ago, did I just butcher that? On an afternoon show 2 days ago, a viewer said, can you go over what's happening with the gasoline? And it's such a big story, it only takes 10 minutes of the video. So I want to give you the overview and really the update right today. The overview and the update right today is, at the time of today's broadcast for June 8th, 2022, the price of gasoline today is the worst number I've ever seen in the history of this channel. Today's the worst number. It's 121 international Brent crude. And the U.S. domestic unleaded released by AAA average is now 490. If you've been on this channel for a while, you understand it was 110 when Putin invaded Ukraine in March, and the U.S. Was like 411. In the last 4 days, it's really gone up a lot. I mean, since right before Memorial Day holiday, it's really surged out of control. It was 433 going into Memorial Day weekend, and Brent crude was about 117. Now Brent is 121, and U.S. domestic is 499. It's going up about 20 cents every day since Memorial Day weekend. It's not the Memorial Day weekend, it's this. Two events have happened. One, the Western Allies banned that Russian oil the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. That's now increasing the shortage. Number two, the Chinese lockdown because of Omicron is now ended. They're back driving. That's increasing the shortage. And does the Western Allies, does the White House have a solution lined up? I want to make something very clear, which I don't think I made clear about 4 days ago. I said the White House is now heading to Saudi Arabia to do a deal with Saudi Arabia over oil. I want to clarify my comments. First, the White House is going to Saudi Arabia. Number two, the White House is trying to rekindle relationships with Saudi Arabia. Number three, the White House has not officially said it's to do a deal on oil. So that is unofficial, that is source data, but it's not an official statement for the White House. Doesn't mean it's incorrect. It's just source data, comments off the record from insiders close to the White House. So I'll make that very clear to you. Translation is, we don't have a deal yet on oil. We don't have a deal yet on oil, and that is why those prices of oil is going up so dramatically. Next, student loan debt forgiveness. Student loan debt forgiveness is sort of taking a new form on this channel. I'll tell you why. The story is not going to really change, so I don't want to hit it anymore. This is my opinion of the story. The opinion of the story is it's going to be $10,000 student loan debt forgiveness, and that's it. Done. End of the story. What is broadcast media doing? They're trying to kill this. They're trying to embellish the story. Every day or 2 days, they're running another story. 5 people met with the White House asking for $50,000. 10 people met with the White House asking for $50,000. The takeaway is it's not going to happen. He's made it very clear he's going to do 10,000. So they're sort of milking the story. I want to make very clear to you that you qualify for some student loan debt forgiveness. Go get it. Let's go over who would qualify. If you've been disabled after graduation, your debts are forgiven. Go get them forgiven. You went to work in the nonprofit or public sector after graduation, your debts are forgiven. Go get it. Go get that done. And the most important one, if your debts were procured by fraud by the university against you, go get that forgiven. Now, some of your debts may also be forgiven another way. Here's where it's very detailed. Go to the Department of Education's website and read the press releases released by Miguel Cardona, Education Secretary, over the last few months. And look for what he's announcing, because he's trying to get your debts forgiven by modifying the language of the statutes. The statutes I want you to hear, and if I go too fast, just replay the video underneath it, are the IDR credit, the Public Service Loan Forgiveness credit, and the income-based repayment programs. Look and see if he mentions that in the context of your student loans. Go get them forgiven. But takeaway is, I believe that the president's going to just announce $10,000 maybe about September, and that'll be the end of the story. It's no reason to keep on running the story. 50,000 is never going to happen, in my opinion. That is why you got to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. And in the second half of this video, I'm going to go over new details about these checks you've never heard before. Two major details. They're huge, and they're just happening today. Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, go under the video, hit that join link to become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. And step 3, go into that membership newsletter delivered Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts to get that forced stimulus check now in every U.S. state. Checks, plural. There's a lot of them, and I got them for you. You ain't going to see these checks anywhere else in the landscape of broadcasting news. These are checks that were done by the president, by executive order, and also by the states. They're huge, and they're in every U.S. state. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over that. Plus, we'll have a preview of what's happening tonight on Evenings LA, and I'll have that 2 new elements of the that are important about the checks released minutes ago, and I'll give you guidance about where this economy is going in 90 days from now. We're just getting started. As the toast is toasted and the butter is butter, and I'll see you back in 60 seconds as Mornings LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues on a big, bold, beautiful morning of June 8th, 2022 from the shores of Santa Monica, California. How are you? I hope you have a beautiful day. We got some big checks in every U.S. state. We're going to get them in this big second half. Live on air from the shores of Santa Monica. Did you become a member during the commercial break? I hope you did. Go under the video right now where it says join and join now. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Then get an incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and go in there and get those checks. I'll explain how to do it right now. But first, let me give you the introduction of how we got to this spot. If you're new to watching this channel, what are you watching? You're watching one of the most watched financial news channels in America that does three things. Tells you where the economy is right now, tells you where it's going, and gets you checks. It's different than reporting about the checks. It's actually getting you the checks. And back in the month of March, viewers said, LA, Congress hasn't gotten this Build Back Better Act done. Can you give me some checks? And I did. Remember, there's three ways checks can come to you. From Congress, hasn't happened yet. From the president by executive order, has happened. And from the states, has happened. And with that, we're going to go over all these incredible checks right now. And then right after that, have breaking news about the checks as well. First, let's look at that very first check and remember that you qualify. The eligibility for this checks are so important. You qualify. Single individual, 75,000 or less, you qualify. Go get it. Married couple, 150,000 or less, yes, go get them. If you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, veterans benefits, RB, go get it. Rent, own, have children, don't have children, that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state is for you. Let's go over the first check starting right now. It's a $6,500 to $12,000 check. Wow, that's wonderful. It is a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, 75,000 or less, go get it. Married couple, 150,000 or less, go get it. It's called the Homeowners Weatherizing Grant Check. And how do you get that incredible check? So simple. Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, become a member. The membership link is under the video. Join the channel right now. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Hit that join button under the video and become a member. Step 3, get that newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And go down in the newsletter till you see Check A. There it is. Go in and apply. It'll send you to the nationwide website. You choose your state. You choose the weatherizing grant, and you apply. And you're done. But you're not done there yet because you're going to go get Check B. It's a $15,000 to $80,000 forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Boy, this is wonderful. I don't mess around. You see, I don't mess around. I'm not here from puny little $600 checks. I'm here from monster checks. Average view of this channel is getting $66,000 to $80,000 checks. It is called the Homeowners Grant Check. And you can get it if you're single, with children, without children, 75,000 less, married couple on benefits, SSI or SSDI. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. Step 3, go down that membership newsletter till you find Check B, click it, and go in and pounce. And boy, is that wonderful. But you're not done there yet. You're going to go get Check C as well. Check C is an MSC, monthly stimulus check on average, $2,000 a month over 12 months. Oh, boy, this is incredible. And it's for my renters and also my homeowners. It is for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. And let's look at the history of this incredible Check C. First column on this channel, purple. In December 2020, Americans were watching this channel and said, Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin have not got to the second stimulus done. It was December 2020. It was cold. You had the heating oil bills and all that, and you needed some money. And you said, go find me some checks. That was my first instruction upon this channel, to get checks. And I found them. And that was this money. But at the time, I had a preview of a piece of legislation coming in 2021. And I said, it repeats the same programs, but with a lot more money. I said, this becomes law, you're going to clean up. Why? Because I was teaching then, as I am now, you skills, how to do this. And I said, if you can get this money when there's not a lot of it in December 2020, get ready for early 2021 when there'll be fortunes. Well, that's what happened. I said to the viewers, I think you get 15,000 when it becomes law. What happened? They didn't get 15,000. They got 45,000. Lots of monster sums of money. Let's look at the history of Check C, which then was called Purple. 20,000 all the way up to $27,000 for rent from Niecy to Elizabeth. Angela all the way up to Nancy, but Mark's brother-in-law getting $15,000 for utilities. When we look at the SNAP, Nancy all the way up to Louis, but Mark's brother-in-law got $25,000 a year over 10 years from this channel, $250,000. I had a lot of viewers. I got $20,000 a year for SNAP. When we look at the numbers for combo, Niecy was at $23,000. She keeps on getting $8,000 every few weeks. She's in the live chat every night. She's now upwards of 30, 40, 50,000. Mark, he was at 32,000 at the time. He heard me say, go get more money, Mark. He did. And he went from 32,000 to 50,000. Then 100,000, and then he got Check B, 166. Lorraine, she's in all the live chats, and she was at that time 105. Then she went to 120,000. Now she keeps on getting a couple $800 every few days. How do you get these incredible check C's? Very similar to what we've already gone through. Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, become a member. Go down that membership newsletter till you find check C. Then at check C, it tells you who to call, what to say, and how to say it. You're going to make about 15 phone calls. And there you go. Get those incredible checks. And step 1, subscribing. And step 2, becoming a member. Now, we have new data today and new fascinating breaking news that impacts all this money. And I have it for you right now. A new report released just in the last few hours says that 40% of Americans polled claim they still have saved up money from the previous stimulus packages. This is huge. And why is this so important for you? Because it sounds like my viewers. My viewers are the viewers who have been getting big, monstrous $40,000, $80,000, $200,000 items from these stimulus packages over the last 2 years. And they are likely to have saved up the money as well. Let's take a step back. In the first stimulus package, this channel was covering EIDL grants and getting people $10,000 EIDL grants. Some places getting people multiple EIDL grants because they had multiple businesses. EIDL loans, I was getting people on average about $150,000, many viewers upwards of $200,000 EIDL loans. PPP, which you would not have saved by this time, people are getting big sums of money as well. So imagine you still have that EIDL loan, because it's a 30-year loan, you still have that EIDL grant saved up. What else was I getting people at the time? Monstrous payouts for PUA, FPUC, and UI. Even the first few days of this channel, I was getting people $15,000 to $20,000 for those unemployment benefits like Island Bellicamp. A lot of Americans now report, 40% of Americans now report they have saved up stimulus from these stimulus packages. It's likely a lot of it came from these unemployment benefits, just as what I've gotten for you on this channel. Why am I bringing up this data for you today? Because I understand the landscape that's out there. The landscape that is out there is viewers were watching this channel when the first stimulus was happening and getting from me EIDL and PUA and FPUC and upwards of $50 million to date from this channel. But when second stimulus came along, a lot of people just saw only a $600 check. And they said, I just keep on wanting to get those $600 checks. And I said, that's not what I do here. I get people monster sums of money so that you save it up and so that you get that financial independence. Well, there you go. 40% of Americans now polled say they had that financial independence because they saved up the money from stimulus. Why is this also important for today? Because what's coming out? What's coming up next? That storm out to sea. This U.S. economy is going to downturn dramatically in the next 90 days. You're going to need to save this money. You need to hoard all the stimulus. And what's also coming in 2023 is that recession. That's why you need to save the stimulus. You need to get as much stimulus. That's why you got to do what Nisi and Mark and Margaret and Lorraine and all the other viewers do all the time. They keep on going back and getting monies. $800, $800, $900, $900, $400. They add up. All these sums of money add up on top of the $30,000 or $40,000 you got, because the situation out to sea is really bad. You'll see it tonight on News LA. When I talk about the next 90 days, this economy is going to be far worse. And then next year, it's going to be a recession. I don't know how much stimulus will be around in 2023 when we have a recession. That's why I need you to get every pot of money that's available today and hoard it. Now, here's an anecdote. When this channel first started getting that money for viewers in December of 2020, the hysterical state at the time was Michigan, because I had viewers say, I got money in Michigan from this organization, that, this, that, those places, almost 5 different places. And yet, the vast majority of live chats at the time in 2020 were, there's no money in Michigan. And I'd have to repeat back the 5 places that people got the money on. Well, in the last week, this channel has become the sort of, I don't have money, there's no money in Arizona channel, at least in the comments. I got to tell you, it's sort of Michigan all over again. First of all, there is money in Arizona. Check A, B, and C is in Arizona. But if you want to hug a cactus, I'm not going to prevent you from hugging a cactus. My takeaway, my new leaf on life, and you should be as well, is that I can't convince people to go get the money if they don't want to go get it. So save a cactus, get a stimulus. That's my new expression. Save a cactus, go get a stimulus if you live in Arizona. And if you want to hug the cactus and do whatever harm you want to do to yourself, you can go do it. There we go. Step one, subscribe. Step two, become a member. Step three, there's a little bell on this channel. Hit that bell so you got to make sure all the notifications set to all on. Now let's go over where this economy is, where it's going, and what you can expect in the next 90 days versus next year. I want you to understand that the terminology of where this economy is going is not so much as important as to knowing it's going to be a lot worse. In the next 90 days, things are going to be a lot worse than they are right now. What do we know that's going to happen? First, we know that the housing market crash of 2022 is going to be much more pronounced, much more obvious, because the homes that went into contract in January that closed 90 days thereafter are releasing the data now, or they went into contract in February, releasing the data to now. We're not seeing the bad housing data from May or April until later this summer. Number two, the stock market crash of 2022 is just getting started. We're down 23% year to date, but that's just the bear market. When you have a bear and also a recession, you're down 48%. And then we're going to see the problem about these interest rates as Jay Powell is set to really do a half basis point at that June FOMC meeting. Is all I'm predicting. That is going to surge everything higher across the board. And that surging those items across the board higher will mean that you will see major changes across at so many issues, a lot that like recession. The recessionary concerns that are being caused by Jay Powell are ripe. Everyone believes that he's not going to get it right. And by not getting it right, he's going to really send us into, yes, a recession. And that is why what I don't know is what the administration will do if we have a recession. Will there be a stimulus package in 2023? I don't know. Will there be a stimulus package in 2024? I don't know. Will there be any type of inflationary stimulus package that is unique just for inflation? I don't know. But of course, we see those comments from Gina Raimondo today. It says, Joe Biden, just do it by executive order. My focus for you is for you to get every check that's available right today, because the downward spiral in this economy will start now and will be very pronounced by September. Tonight on Evenings LA, we're going to go over more about that issue. Since the month of February, I said that there's going to be a storm out to sea. And that storm out to sea, you're going to be able to witness from the edge of the surf. And that storm out to sea will come slowly on land. And when it hits, it's going to be very severe. I call that storm the recession of 2023. The comments from Jamie Dimon, head of JP Morgan Chase, are similar. He says there's a hurricane down the road, and the hurricane is coming closer. He will not use the word recession, but he says there's absolutely going to be a downward spiral of this U.S. economy. Who will be hurt most by the downward spiral of the economy? The people that are struggling right now. People who are low income, people who are on benefits. That is why I focus my attention on getting checks for all of you. And that is why it's important to get these checks in every U.S. state. No time or place to think about the situation from before, to think about small checks, to think about puny checks. The situation at hand is that, thank goodness, praise the earth, that in every U.S. state, there are monster checks right now. Check A is in every state. Check B is in every state. Check C is in every state. And you deserve these big checks up to $80,000. Go get them right now. Step one, become a member. Step three, get that incredible newsletter. And step three, go down in that newsletter and apply for check A, B, and C. And then learn a little bit about, oh yes, there's a surprise at the end of this video, check D. There's about 24 states that are also doing check D. I'll be updating this list shortly. And that check is an automatic check. It's average about $2,000. Get all these checks, because the situation 90 days out from now is going to be far more severe. The situation in 2023 will be even more severe thereafter. And we don't know how bad it will be. We don't know what will send us into a downward spiral first. Will it be Jay Powell? Will it be the lack of an oil deal quickly? Will it be the wheat and oil and grain industry that has no solution for it as well? Will it be the housing market crash of 2022? Will it be the bear market crash of the stock markets of 2022? A lot of major developing details. And what my job to do is to deliver you the data as it happens. Tomorrow morning on air during this show, I will have for you the new jobless claims number, released Thursday morning at the pre-dawn hour. If it's 200,000, it's not good. It needs to be about 188 or lower. It's post-pandemic, and we need to get this number down. And if it shows that people are losing their jobs because the businesses are going under, that's even worse. That's why the economic future of this economy is not looking good at the moment. That's why you have to get a stimulus check in every U.S. state. As I find more checks, I deliver them to you. That's why you want to become a member and stay a member. Be part of the incredible family where people support one another, talk positively, encourage one another to get these incredible checks, give incredible spirits of confidence and support and motivation. See me next on noontime at 11 a.m. and then at 1 o'clock, and then our brand new afternoon show today for June 8th, 2022 at 3 o'clock, and then a brand new primetime show of Evenings LA at 5 o'clock. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, the coffee was brewing, and the cactus, hopefully you are not hugging it. Save a cactus and get some stimulus. It's a big day, and we're just getting started. See you later on LALATE.